You wanna? All rise. Season 3, Episode 5. Yes, sir. All clear. You may be seated. Good morning, everyone, and thank you once again for joining me inside the Pennsylvania College Basketball Court, or the PCBC for short. This is Season 3, Episode 5 of this wonderful podcast/series on YouTube. Seasons 1 and 2 can be found in my Instagram page. Link is in the bio, or you can just search me up here on YouTube at NWS1999 or the Honorable Judge Noah. I am your host, the Honorable Judge Noah, reporting live from the main town and home base of the PCBC of Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania. If you've enjoyed this series so far, don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe to this wonderful series here on YouTube discussing PSAC men's basketball. In today's episode, we're going to be recapping 16 games that occurred over this course of this week, starting from Monday, November 17th to yesterday, Friday, November 21st. We'll get you a look at the upcoming schedule of games that I'm going to be doing previews of for right before Thanksgiving break. And then I'll give you my first of 2 IEP scouting reports for the 2 games that are going to be coming up. One late, just in about a few hours from now, and then scouting report for tomorrow's game. We'll get to that later on. But without further ado, let's get this session underway. Before we do that, we're going to be announcing our PSAC Athletes of the Week for Week 1. For the East Division's Athlete of the Week goes to Marcus Banks out of Shepherd University. He is a point guard and junior from Clinton, Maryland. He played his high school ball at Riverdale Baptiste. He led the Rams to a 2-0 week, averaging 21.5 points, 8 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and 3 steals per game. He scored a career-high 25 points in the win against Virginia State last Friday. The Defensive Athlete of the Week goes to Blake Deegan from Commonwealth University of Lock Haven. He's a forward and redshirt sophomore from Malvern, Pennsylvania. Played his high school ball at Archbishop Carroll. Deegan totaled 3 blocks, 4 steals, and 13 rebounds in the Atlantic Region Challenge this past weekend. Deegan's best performance came in the opener against Davidson Elkins with 2 blocks, 2 steals, and 8 rebounds. He also recorded multiple steals in the block in a win and held West Virginia Wesleyan to 26 second-half points to hang on and win 68-67. He added 2 blocks and 10 boards in a 94-64 win over Penn State Scranton this past Monday. For the West, their Division Athlete of the Week goes to Kendrick Curtis of Seton Hill, forward and junior from Baltimore, Maryland, played his high school ball at Friends School, Baltimore. Curtis led the Griffins to a pair of wins in the Bobcat Challenge last weekend at Frostburg State, averaged 21.5 points and 9 rebounds per contest. He recorded a double-double with 22 points and 11 rebounds in the win against Frostburg State, and totaled 10 assists, 5 steals, and 2 blocks for the week. The Defensive Player of the Week for the West Division was Mackenzie Morgan, one of the new incoming players for Gannon this season. He's a guard and junior from Sydney, Australia, played his high school ball at Maurice Catholic College, North Shore. He averaged 16 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 4 steals per game as Gannon opened the season with 2 wins at Bowie State and Fayetteville State, and also connected on 7 3-pointers and a blocked shot. So congratulations to all 4 of those athletes for being selected for the first week of the PSAC Men's Basketball Athletes of the Week. So we'll be discussing the Athletes of the Week in the next episode. Episode 6 will be releasing on Black Friday. Plan is to have it up at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time as normal. All right, with that being said, let's get into the 16-game gauntlet that was over the course of these past couple days. So we have 2 games that started on Monday, November 17th. The first one, Penn State Scranton versus Commonwealth University of Lock Haven. Game was played at the Thomas Fieldhouse in Lock Haven, Pennsylvania. In the first half, Lock Haven outscored Penn State Scranton 44-37. In the second half, Lock Haven outscored Penn State Scranton 50-27. Lock Haven winning 94-64. Bald Eagles at the time improved to 1-1. Penn State Scranton dropped to 0-2. Player of the game for Penn State Scranton was Xavier Noble in 21 minutes off the bench. He was 5 of 6 from the floor, a perfect 5 out of 5 from three-point range, and 1 out of 2 from the free throw line. He had 1 steal for a total of 16 points. In the first half, Penn State Scranton shot 35.3% from the floor, 57.1% from three-point range, 83.3% from the free throw line. Second half, they were 30% from the floor, 40% from three-point range, and 35.7% from the free throw line. Overall, the Nittany Lions of Penn State Scranton shot 32.8% from the floor, 50% from three-point range, and 50% from the free throw line. For Commonwealth University of Lock Haven, their player of the game was Luke Kenevin. In 31 minutes, he was 8 of 13 from the floor, 1 of 4 from three-point range, and 4 of 6 from the free throw line. 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 block, and 4 steals for 21 points. In the first half, Commonwealth Lock Haven shot 43.9% from the floor, 31.3% from three-point range, and 42.89% from the free throw line. Second half, they were 41.7% from the floor, 20% from three-point range, 63% from the free throw line. Overall, the Bald Eagles of Commonwealth University of Lock Haven shot 42.9% from the floor, 25.8% from three-point range, and 58.8% from the free throw line. And there was a technical foul for the Bald Eagles assessed to Dean Coleman Newsome. Game number 2 from Monday was Chestnut Hill against East Stroudsburg. And that completely shut off for some reason. Hang on just a moment. Okay, here we go. All right, Chestnut Hill versus East Stroudsburg. This game was played at the Kohler Fieldhouse in East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. In the first half, East Stroudsburg outscored Chestnut Hill, based out of Philadelphia, 50-35. In the second half, East Stroudsburg outscored Chestnut Hill 46-40. East Stroudsburg improving to 3-0 with a 96-75 win. And Chestnut Hill drops to 0-3 on the season. Player of the game for Chestnut Hill is Jeremiah Gorham. In 23 minutes, he was 7 of 8 from the floor and 3 of 4 from three-point range. He had 1 assist and 1 steal for a total of 17 points. Let me double check. I think they're called I don't know what their team name is called. Gotta love when you do late-minute researching. What are they called? Oh, so I guess they're called the Griffins. Funny. It's kind of like St. Hill. Anyways, in the first half, Chestnut Hill shot 39.4% from the floor, 21.4% from three-point range, and 66.7% from the free throw line. Second half, they were 44.1% from the floor, 20% from three-point range, 61.5% from the free throw line. Overall, the Griffins of Chestnut Hill shot 41.8% from the floor, 20.8% from three-point range, 63.6% from the free throw line, and there was a technical foul assessed to the Griffins for Malcolm Day. For East Stroudsburg, their player of the game was my pick for the freshman of the year, at least for the first half of the season, Adrian Brito. In 16 minutes off the bench, he was 7 of 12 from the floor, 1 of 1 from three-point range, 3 of 3 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1 steal for 18 points. In the first half, East Stroudsburg shot 58.8% from the floor, 54.6% from three-point range, and a perfect 100% from the free throw line, going 4 out of 4. Second half, they shot 52.9% from the floor, 33.3% from three-point range, 53.9% from the free throw line. Overall, the Warriors of East Stroudsburg shot 55.9% from the floor, 45% from three-point range, and 64.7% from the free throw line. So the 2 games ended up getting both games correct. So that improves our total to 24 wins and 24 games correct out of 35. Moving on to the Wednesday games. I'm trying to remember the 2 names, Caldwell and Georgian Court. Hold on. That's what happens when you have all these weird team names. No, not that one. Cougars? I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's right. Okay, so that's right. And then, man, I hate doing lane runners. Lions, Georgian Court, and then Roberts was Leon. Redhawks. Okay. All right, we're gonna go with them. All right, so now moving on to the big portion of this video, and this is from Wednesday, a couple days ago. First game, Davis and Elkins versus Seton Hill. This game was played in the McKenna Center in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. Beautiful facility right on top of the hill that just across from the beautiful Westmoreland County Courthouse in Greensburg. In the first half, Seton Hill outscored Davis and Elkins 36-18. Second half, Seton Hill outscored Davis and Elkins 52-46. Seton Hill winning easily 88-64 over the Senators. For Seton Hill improves to 3-0. The Senators dropped to 1-2 in conference overall this year. For Davis and Elkins, their player of the game was Vegas Evans. In 24 minutes, he was 6 of 11 from the floor, 1 of 3 from three-point range, and 2 of 2 from the free throw line. 6 rebounds for a total of 15 points. In the first half, Davis and Elkins shot 29.6% from the floor, 14.3% from three-point range, and 0% from the free throw line, only taking 1 free throw attempt and not converting on it. Second half, they shot 48.3% from the floor, 38.5% from three-point range, 68.4% from the free throw line. Overall, the Senators of Davis and Elkins shot 39.3% from the floor, 25.9% from three-point range, 65% from the free throw line. For Seton Hill, their player of the game was Dimitrios Skalaventis. 27 minutes, he was 7 of 10 from the floor, 2 of 2 from three-point range, 3 of 5 from the free throw line, with 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals for 19 points. In the first half, Seton Hill shot 50% from the floor, 25% from three-point range, 42.9% from the free throw line. Second half, they shot 56.3% from the floor, 54.6% from three-point range, 66.7% from the free throw line. Overall, the Griffins of Seton Hill shot 53.2% from the floor, 39.1% from three-point range, and 59.1% from the free throw line. With that prediction, I got that game correct. Next game is California versus University of Charleston. One of the 4 games I did not get correct. This game was pretty bad. Or actually, it was pretty close in the first half. The second half, not so much. This game was played at the Convocation Center in California, Pennsylvania. In the first half, California outscored Charleston, West Virginia, 44-38. Second half, this is where it got pretty bad. California outscored Charleston 46-22. Penn West California wins this game 90-60 over the Golden Eagles of Charleston, West Virginia. Penn West Cal gets its first win on the season, going 1-2. Charleston drops to 2-1. For the Golden Eagles, their player of the game was Kaden Davis. In 23 minutes off the bench, he was 8 of 14 from the floor, 4 of 8 from three-point range, and 1 of 3 from the free throw line. 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals for 21 points. In the first half, the University of Charleston and West Virginia shot 45.5% from the floor, 44.4% from three-point range, and 0% from the free throw line, going 0 of 1. Second half is where things really took a nosedive. They shot 29.2% from the floor, 9.1% from three-point range, and 53.9% from the free throw line. Overall, the Golden Eagles of the University of Charleston, West Virginia shot 38.6% from the floor, 31% from three-point range, and 50% from the free throw line. And a technical foul was assessed to the University of Charleston, West Virginia, to Hamilton Campbell. For Penn West California, their player of the game was Bryson Lucas. Had a very impressive double-double. In 37 minutes, he was 9 of 16 from the floor, 6 of 10 from three-point range, 1 of 4 from the free throw line, 17 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocks, and 3 steals for 25 points. 16 of those 17 rebounds came as defensive rebounds. So a very impressive performance nonetheless for Bryson Lucas. In the first half, Penn West California shot 56.3% from the floor, 46.2% from three-point range, 50% from the free throw line. Second half, they shot 53.6% from the floor, 33.3% from three-point range, 68.4% from the free throw line. Overall, the Vulcans of Penn West California shot 55% from the floor, 40.9% from three-point range, and 65.2% from the free throw line, with one technical foul being assessed to Penn West California's Jordan Buchanan. Game 3 of 12 from Wednesday, Penn West, Clarion, and Frostburg State. This was a game I ended up watching the final minutes of. And man, it was a very interesting game to say the least. Game was played at Tippin Gymnasium in Clarion. In the first half, Clarion outscored Frostburg State 50-39. Second half, Frostburg State outscored Penn West Clarion 55-45. Clarion hanging on by 1 point, beating the Bobcats 95-94. Clarion goes to 2-1, while Frostburg State drops to 1-2. And the player of the game, this was probably the easiest pick of the video today, and that would be former Gannon Golden Knight Mike Matano, who has been rocking and rolling in his first 3 games with the Bobcats despite a 1-2 record. In 38 minutes, he was 18 of 32 from the floor, 2 of 6 from three-point range, 3 of 5 from the free throw line, recorded 18 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 block, and 3 steals for 41 points. Mind you, the highest scoring player by any PSAC per player last season was Cam Kearney out of Clarion, put up 39 points. So very impressive. Mike Patano put up 41 points. He has been a superstar in his first 3 games, averaging 33.3 points and 15 rebounds per game, shooting nearly 60% from the floor in his first 3 games with Frostburg State. In the first half, Frostburg State shot 41.7% from the floor, 25% from three-point range, and 75% from the free throw line. Second half, they shot 46.7% from the floor, 38.5% from three-point range, 57.1% from the free throw line. Overall, the Bobcats of Frostburg State shot 44.4% from the floor, 32% from three-point range, 63.6% from the free throw line. For Penn West Clarion, I would have technically went with their highest scorer, which is Gavin Cote. He put up 29 points. But I'm going to go player of the game is Jeremy Thomas II. In 30 minutes, he was 4-4 from the floor and 2 of 5 from the free throw line. He recorded a triple-double, which I believe is the second time I've ever had in the 3 seasons I've done this. He had 11 rebounds, 10 assists, 1 block, and 3 steals for 10 points. So a very impressive performance for Jeremy Thomas II. And right now, I would probably say has a good shot at winning Athlete of the Week for the West Division coming up. In the first half, Penn West Clarion shot 56.4% from the floor, 25% from three-point range, 42.9% from the free throw line. Second half, they shot 40% from the floor, 36.4% from three-point range, and 85% from the free throw line. Overall, the Golden Eagles of Penn West Clarion shot 49.3% from the floor, 30.4% from three-point range, and 74.1% from the free throw line. This was the second of 4 games I got incorrect. So we're not off to a good start so far. 1 out of 3. Another game I got incorrect. I had Point Park beating Penn West Edinboro, and Edinboro easily got the win on this one. It was the first game of the season for Point Park on Wednesday. This game was played at the Macomb Fieldhouse, Edinboro. In the first half, Edinboro outscored Point Park 47-40. Second half, Edinboro outscored Point Park 39-34. Edinboro winning 86-74. Edinboro gets their first win of the season, going 1-2. Point Park drops to 0-1. For Point Park, their player of the game was Caden Warner. In 35 minutes, he was 10 of 15 from the floor, 3 of 5 from three-point range, and 3 of 3 from the free throw line. 9 rebounds, 3 assists for 26 points. I will give a shout out though to former IUP Crimson Hawk Jalen Stewart, who plays first game in over a year. In 21 minutes, he was 1 of 2 from the floor. He had 4 rebounds, 3 assists for 2 points. So, could have been better, could have been worse. In the first half, Point Park shot 50% from the floor, 57.1% from three-point range, and perfect 100% from the free throw line, going 2 out of 2. Second half, they were 43.3% from the floor, 14.3% from three-point range, and 87.5% from the free throw line. Overall, the Pioneers of Point Park University, located in downtown Pittsburgh, shot 46.7% from the floor, 42.9% from three-point range, and 90% from the free throw line. For Edinburgh, their top scorer and their best player was, in my opinion, player of the game was Bryce Baez. In 30 minutes, recorded a double-double, going 10 of 12 on the floor and 1 of 2 from three-point range. 13 rebounds, 2 assists for 27 points. 8 of those 13 rebounds came on the offensive side of the board. Although, you know what? Another shout-out to Rowan Carmichael. In 30 minutes, he was 12 of 21 from the floor, 7 of 14 from three-point range. 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal for 31 points. So those two combined for nearly 2/3 of Edinburgh's points. In the first half, Penn West Edinburgh shot 43.2% from the floor, 42.9% from three-point range, 75% from the free throw line. Second half, they shot 53.3% from the floor, 20% from three-point range, and 100% from the free throw line, going 4 out of 4 in the second half. Overall, the Fighting Scots of Penn West Edinburgh shot 47.8% from the floor, 33.3% from three-point range, and 83.3% from the free throw line. Good news is we only got 1 game left that I did not get correct, so the remaining games are going to look pretty good. And speaking of which, we're actually going to talk about that. This is the final game I did not get correct, so the final remaining, I think it's 7 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Final game I did not get correct. This was actually a pretty good game. I ended up watching a little bit of this game too. It was Wilmington, Delaware against Millersville. This game actually went to double overtime, so get ready for overtime statistics too. The first half, Millersville outscored Wilmington, Delaware 44-37. In the second half, Wilmington, Delaware outscored Millersville 42-35. I forgot to mention this game was played at the Wilmington University Athletics Complex in Newark, Delaware. Needing overtime. In the first overtime, they both scored 11 points each. In the second overtime, Wilmington, Delaware outscored Millersville 11-9. Final score 101-99 in favor of Wilmington, Delaware. They improved to 3-0. Millersville drops to 1-2. Player of the game for Millersville was Siraj Ali. In 32 minutes, he was 8 of 10 from the floor, 0 out of 1 from three-point range, and 8 of 9 from the free throw line. 6 rebounds for a total of 24 points, though Dave Waters also had 23 points to go with that. In the first half, Millersville shot 51.7% from the floor, 40% from three-point range, 100% from the free throw line, going 10 out of 10. In the second half, they shot 46.2% from the floor, 33.3% from three-point range, and 100% for the free throw line, going 8 out of 8. In the first overtime, they shot 42.9% from the floor, 0% from three-point range, going 0 out of 3, and 62.5% from the free throw line. Second overtime, they were 100% from the free throw line, going 3 out of 3, 1 out of 1 from the three-point range, 100%, and 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 100%. Somehow still lost the game. Overall, the Marauders of Millersville shot 50.8% from the floor, 34.8% from three-point range, and 89.3% from the free throw line. For Wilmington, Delaware, the player of the game was Trey Hawkins. In 37 minutes, he was 6 of 10 from the floor, 0 of 1 from three-point range, 10 of 13 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal for 22 points. And then Nakeem Taylor also had 21 points to go with that. In the first half, Wilmington, Delaware shot 50% from the floor, 50% from three-point range, 68.8% from the free throw line. Second half, they shot 43.3% from the floor, 38.5% from three-point range, and a perfect 100% from the free throw line, going 11 out of 11. In the first overtime, they shot 66.7% from the floor, 0% from three-point range, going 0 out of 2, and 3 out of 3 from the free throw line at 100%. In the second overtime, they were 44.4% from the floor, 0% from three-point range, going 0 out of 1, and 3 out of 3 from the free throw line at 100%. Overall, the Wildcats of Wilmington, Delaware shot 47.8% from the floor, 35% from three-point range, and 84.8% from the free throw line. Next game. Man, it really wanted me to get the games I did not get correct out of the way. Next game, Shepherd and Bowie State. This game is played at the Butcher Athletic Center in Shepherdstown, West Virginia. In the first half, Shepherd outscored Bowie State 34-33. Second half, Shepherd outscored Bowie State 42-33. Shepherd winning 76-66. Shepherd goes to 3-0. Bowie State drops to 0-4. For Bowie State, their player of the game was Guy Fonteleroy. In 39 minutes, he was 10 of 20 from the floor, 5 of 12 from three-point range, 3 out of 4 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds and 2 assists with 2 steals for 28 points. Then also Justin Morrissey had 20 points for the Bulldogs. In the first half, Bowie State shot 46.7% from the floor, 41.7% from three-point range, 0% from the free throw line, going 0 out of 1. Second half, they shot 44.4% from the floor, 21.4% from three-point range, and 40% from the free throw line. Overall, the Bulldogs of Bowie State shot 45.6% from the floor, 30.8% from three-point range, and an abysmal 37.5% from the free throw line. Ouch. For Shepherd, their player of the game was Colby White. In 38 minutes, he was 7 of 12 on the floor, 4 out of 5 from three-point range, and 4 out of 4 from the free throw line. 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal for 22 points. Shout out also goes to the PSAC East Athlete of the Week, Marcus Banks, who had 34 minutes, scored 20 points with 4 steals, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds. In the first half, Shepherd shot 40.6% from the floor, 40% from three-point range, 66.7% from the free throw line. Second half, they shot 52.4% from the floor, 57.1% from three-point range, and 80% from the free throw line. Overall, the Rams of Shepherd shot 45.3% from the floor, 47.1% from three-point range, and 76.9% from the free throw line, with 1 technical foul being assessed to Elaine Wardlaw. Next game, Slippery Rock and Wheeling. A rematch of these 2 teams from last season. Slippery Rock won a very close matchup in Wheeling, West Virginia last year. A very chippy game, from what I remember. This game transitioned to the Morrow Fieldhouse in Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania, just about 5 minutes down the road from where PCBC is being filmed. In the first half, Slippery Rock outscored Wheeling 36-27. In the second half, Slippery Rock outscored Wheeling 46-44. SRU wins 82-71 over the Cardinals. SRU improves to 3-0. Wheeling drops to 1-2. Player of the game, I'm going to go with, this is a close call, T. Harris or Aiden Gall. We're going to go with Aiden Gall, just because he had more 3-point attempts made than T. Harris. But anyways, I'll give a shout out to T. Harris here in a minute. Aiden Gall is the player of the game for the Cardinals. In 29 minutes, he was 7 of 17 from the floor, 2 out of 5 from three-point range, and 3 of 3 from the free throw line. 4 rebounds, 4 assists for 19 points. T. Harris also had 19 points in 26 minutes, going 8 of 19 from the floor. In the first half, Wheeling... Everything okay? Of course, kitty. Sorry about that. In the first half, Wheeling shot 26.7% from the floor, 26.7% from three-point range, and 100% from the free throw line, going 7 out of 7. In the second half, they shot 41.9% from the floor, 20% from three-point range, 62.5% from the free throw line. Overall, the Cardinals of Wheeling University shot 35.6% from the floor, 23.3% from three-point range, and 80% from the free throw line. For Slippery Rock, their player of the game was freshman Dame Givner. In 32 minutes, he was 9 of 15 from the floor, 2 of 5 from three-point range, 4 of 6 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 3 assists for 24 points. He is one of 3 big freshmen they have this year. Dave Givner, Brady Mayo, and RJ Sledge are the big 3 for SRU this season. In the first half, Slippery Rock shot 46.4% from the floor, 36.4% from three-point range, and 75% from the free throw line. In the second half, they shot 53.6% from the floor, 40% from three-point range, 63.6% from the free throw line. Overall, the Rock of SRU shot 50% from the floor, 37.5% from three-point range, and 66.7% from the free throw line. Got that game right. Next one, Westchester and Caldwell. This game was at the Hollander Fieldhouse in Westchester, Pennsylvania. In the first half, Westchester outscored Caldwell 41-32. In the second half, Westchester outscored Caldwell 48-36. Westchester getting a 21-point win over Caldwell. 89 to 68. Westchester improves to 2-1. Caldwell drops to 0-3. Now I gotta look up their name again. Wait, no, that's right. No, I remember. For the Lions, their player of the game was Melvin Evans. In 27 minutes, he was 8 of 18 from the floor, 0 out of 2 from three-point range, and 2 of 7 from the free throw line. 1 rebound, 1 assist for 18 points. In the first half, Caldwell shot 39.3% from the floor, 20% from three-point range, 64.3% from the free throw line. Second half, they shot 39.4% from the floor, 14.3% from three-point range, 64.3% from the free throw line. Overall, the Lions of Caldwell shot 39.3% from the floor, 16.7% from three-point range, and 64.3% from the free throw line, with a technical foul being assessed to Caldwell as a team. For Westchester, their player of the game was Anthony McCall. In 24 minutes, he was 7 of 13 from the floor, 2 of 4 from three-point range, 1 of 2 from the free throw line. 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1 block for 17 points. In the first half, Westchester shot 45.7% from the floor, 44.4% from three-point range, 83.3% from the free throw line. Second half, they shot 42.1% from the floor, 40% from three-point range, 75% from the free throw line. That was a fail. Ray. Overall, Westchester shot 43.8% from the floor, 42.1% from three-point range, 75% from the free throw line, with a technical foul being assessed to Westchester as a team. Next game. Georgian Court versus Bloomsburg. Commonwealth University of Bloomsburg. All right, here we go. In the first half, Georgian Court outscored Bloomsburg 34-32. Second half, Georgian Court outscored Bloomsburg 35-33. Georgian Court gets the 4-point win over Bloomsburg 69-65. This game was played at the H. Nelson Fieldhouse in Bloomsburg. Georgian Court improves to 2-1. Bloomsburg drops to 0-3. For Georgian Court, their player of the game was Jason Santucci. In 30 minutes, 8 of 10 from the floor, 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Hit 7 rebounds, 1 assist for 17 points. Let me check their name again. Oh, I guess they are the Lions. So what the heck was this called then? Caldwell. Okay, Cougars. My apologies. So, my apologies to Caldwell University. So they were the Cougars. Georgian Court is the Lions. Okay, here we go. In the first half, Georgian Court shot 36.4% from the floor, 44.4% from three-point range, 75% from the free throw line. Second half, they shot 60% from the floor, 0% from three-point range, going 0 out of 5, and 57.9% from the free throw line. Overall, the Lions of Georgian Court shot 45.3% from the floor, 28.6% from three-point range, 63% from the free throw line. For Bloomsburg, their player of the game was Gabe Springer. In 29 minutes, he was 5 of 7 from the floor, 4 of 8 from the free throw line, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal for 14 points. In the first half, Commonwealth University of Bloomsburg shot 41.4% from the floor, 44.4% from three-point range, 50% from the free throw line. Second half, they shot 41.7% from the floor, 37.5% from three-point range, 71.4% from the free throw line. Overall, the Huskies of Commonwealth University of Bloomsburg shot 41.5% from the floor, 41.2% from three-point range, and 63.6% from the free throw line. Next game, and the actual title of this episode, because they didn't really put up 117 points. That's crazy. Kutztown versus Penn State School Kill. The first half, Kutztown outscored Penn State School Kill 63-25. Wow. Okay. The second half, Kutztown outscored Penn State School Kill 54-43. Kutztown winning by 49 points, winning 117-68. Kutztown gets its first win of the season. This was also their first game of the year. And first win for new interim head coach Tom York. Going 1-0. Penn State Schuylkill drops to 2-2. This game was played at the Keystone Arena in Kutztown, Pennsylvania. For Penn State Schuylkill, their player of the game was Amir Gray. In 27 minutes, he was 6 of 14 from the floor, 0 of 1 from three-point range, 1 of 1 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 1 block, and 1 steal for 13 points. So I'm just writing stuff down. Okay. The first half, Penn State Schuylkill shot 32.3% from the floor, 45.5% from three-point range, 0% from the free throw line because they didn't take a free throw attempt. Any free throws. Second half, 41% from the floor, 44.4% from three-point range, 87.5% from the free throw line. Overall, the Nittany Lions of Penn State Schuylkill shot 37.1% from the floor, 45% from three-point range, 87.5% from the free throw line. For Kutztown, they had 7 players with double-digit points, but their player of the game is my pick for best player, for one of the best players in the PSAC this season in the East, and Jalen Bryant. In 22 minutes, he was 7 of 11 from the floor, 4 of 8 from three-point range, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 3 assists and 1 steal for 20 points. In the first half, Kutztown shot 64.7% from the floor, 50% from three-point range, and 81.3% from the free throw line. Second half, they shot 61.8% from the floor, 50% from three-point range, 75% from the free throw line. Overall, the Golden Bears of Kutztown University shot 63.2% from the floor, 50% from three-point range, and 80% from the free throw line. Also, shout out to their football program. They just won their 3rd consecutive PSAC Conference Championship last Saturday at home against IUP. And their 4th conference title in 5 seasons. They have the 1 seed going into the Super Region 1 playoffs tomorrow. Or I guess today. Next game. Roberts Wesleyan versus Commonwealth University in Mansfield. This game was played at the Voller Athletic Center in Rochester, New York. In the first half, Mansfield outscored Roberts Wesleyan 50-48. Second half, RW outscored Mansfield 52-41. Roberts Wesleyan, the Red Hawks, winning 191 over the Mountaineers. Roberts Wesleyan goes to 1-2. Mansfield drops to 0-3. Player of the game for Mansfield is former Lock Haven Bald Eagle Laquan Bird. In 29 minutes, he was 6 of 11 from the floor, 4 of 7 from three-point range, 3 of 3 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1 steal for 19 points. 4 other Bald Eagles also recorded double-digit points. In the first half, Lock Haven shot 50% from the floor, 56.3% from three-point range, 77.8% from the free throw line. Second half, they shot 53.9% from the floor, 20% from three-point range, 64.7% from the free throw line. Overall, the Bald Eagles of Commonwealth University of Lock Haven shot 51.7% from the floor, 42.3% from three-point range, and 69.2% from the free throw line. For Roberts Wesleyan, their player of the game was Colin Woods. In 30 minutes, he was 9 of 10 from the floor, 3 of 3 from three-point range, 6 of 9 from the free throw line, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks for 27 points. Although another shout to Kalik Gardner. In 23 minutes, had 25 points. In the first half, Roberts Wesleyan shot 51.5% from the floor, 30.8% from three-point range, 71.4% from the free throw line. Second half, they shot 57.6% from the floor, 45.5% from three-point range, and 60% from the free throw line. Overall, the Red Hawks of Roberts Wesleyan shot 54.5% from the floor, 37.5% from three-point range, and 65.5% from the free throw line. And the 12th and final game from Wednesday was Chestnut Hill versus Shippensburg. Game was played at the Hodges Fieldhouse in Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. In the first half, Shippensburg outscored Chestnut Hill 31-27. Second half, Chestnut Hill outscored Shippensburg 38-36. Shippensburg hanging on to win by 2 points over the Griffins. Shippensburg winning 67-65. The Raiders improved to 2-1, while the Griffins dropped to 0-4. The player of the game for Chestnut Hill was Alejandro Sybak. 30 minutes off the bench, he was 9 of 13 from the floor, 2 of 3 from three-point range, and 3 of 5 from the free throw line, recording a double-double with 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, and 1 steal for 23 points. In the first half, Chestnut Hill shot 35.5% from the floor, 33.3% from three-point range, and 50% from the free throw line. Second half, they shot 56% from the floor, 41.7% from the three-point range, and 71.4% from the free throw line. Overall, the Griffins of Chestnut Hill shot 44.6% from the floor, 37.5% from three-point range, 66.7% from the free throw line, with a technical foul being assessed to the Griffins' Landon Shippers. For the Raiders of Shippensburg, their player of the game, Marcus Frank, 32 minutes. He was 7 of 13 from the floor, 0 of 1 from three-point range, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 1 assist for 17 points. In the first half, Shippensburg shot 41.2% from the floor, 0% from three-point range, going 0 out of 5, for 37.5% from the free throw line. Second half, they shot 43.8% from the floor, 22.2% from three-point range, 66.7% from the free throw line. Overall, the Raiders of Shippensburg shot 42.4% from the floor, 14.3% from three-point range, and 52.9% from the free throw line, with the technical foul being assessed to the Raiders' Jackson Moon. So from Wednesday, I ended up getting 8 out of 12 games correct. So that brings our total to 32 wins and 32 out of 47 games. We still got 2 games left to go. One game. Moving on to the one and only game from Thursday, that was Holy Family against Commonwealth University of Lock Haven. This game was played at the Campus Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. In the first half, Lock Haven outscored Holy Family 40-27. In the second half, Holy Family outscored Lock Haven 47-33, with Holy Family getting a 1-point win over the Bald Eagles. So let me double check to make sure I think this is the right team. Come on. Yeah, we're good. Yep, that's right. Okay, sorry about that. All these teams that don't even play in the Atlantic region. Goodness gracious. For Lock Haven, their player of the game was Dylan Scott. 25 minutes, he was 5 of 7 from the floor, 5 of 5 from three-point range, and 1 of 2 from the free throw line. 2 assists for 16 points. In the first half, Commonwealth University of Lock Haven shot 48.4% from the floor, 40% from three-point range, 66.7% from the free throw line. Second half, they shot 45.8% from the floor, 60% from three-point range, 71.4% from the free throw line. Overall, the Bald Eagles of Commonwealth University of Lock Haven shot 47.3% from the floor, 48% from three-point range, and 69.2% from the free throw line. For Holy Family, their player of the game was Najee Corsi. 30 minutes, he was 9 of 15 from the floor, 2 of 4 from three-point range, and 2 of 4 from the free throw line. 8 rebounds for a total of 22 points. Another shout out to DeAndre Howell South, who had 18 points in 32 minutes. In the first half, Holy Family shot 31.4% from the floor, 10% from three-point range, and 50% from the free throw line. Second half, they shot 51.4% from the floor, 33.3% from three-point range, and 62.5% from the free throw line. Overall, the Tigers of Holy Family shot 41.7% from the floor, 18.8% from three-point range, and 57.1% from the free throw line. Got that game correct, which puts us at 33 out of 48 games correct, which leads us to the game that occurred yesterday afternoon in Wilmington, Delaware. Westchester versus Goldie Beacom. This game was played in Wilmington, Delaware. In the first half, Westchester outscored Goldie Beacom 47-35. In the second half, Goldie Beacom outscored Westchester 49-41. Westchester hanging on to win by 4 points, improving to 3-1, while Goldie Beacom drops to 3-1. Westchester winning 88-84. Player of the game for Westchester was Ruben Rodriguez Jr. 38 minutes. He was 7 of 17 from the floor, 1 of 5 from three-point range, 7 of 12 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 5 assists for 22 points. In the first half, Westchester shot 55.2% from the floor, 66.7% from three-point range, and 60% from the free throw line. Second half, they shot 40.6% from the floor, 9.1% from three-point range, 73.7% from the free throw line. Overall, the Golden Rams of Westchester shot 47.5% from the floor, 35% from three-point range, and 67.6% from the free throw line. For Goldie Beacom, their player of the game was Trey Powell. In 22 minutes, he was 6 of 10 from the floor, 1 of 2 from three-point range, and 10 of 12 from the free throw line. In the second half, he had 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals for 23 points. Getting ahead of myself. In the first half, Goldie Beacom shot 40.7% from the floor, 8.3% from three-point range, 70.6% from the free throw line. Second half, they shot 55.2% from the floor, 38.5% from three-point range, and 70.6% from the free throw line. Overall, the Lightning of Goldie Beacom shot 48.2% from the floor, 24% from three-point range, and 70.6% from the free throw line. 2 technical fouls were assessed to the Lightning, one to Alicia Brown, and the other one to Julian Williams, and got that game correct. Which leads us to today. We have a total of 13 games on the schedule. Overall, I've gotten 34 out of 49 games correct. That is just under 70%, or 60 to be more precise, 69.4% of the games I've gotten correct so far. So I had a pretty good week so far. So if we go by this week, I have a total of 12 out of 16 games overall for the 4-day stretch. Not too bad. So let's look at the weekend games. We got 13 today and only 2 tomorrow. So 15 games overall. For the next episode, we're going to be recapping a crap ton of games. Actually, depending on how this works, we might be able to get this filmed by Monday afternoon, but we'll have to wait and see. More than likely, I'm going to be filming this episode. I'm going to try to have it out on the 28th. So we're going to have 27 games to recap if that's the case. I'll make a final decision here before the end of this video, because if we do that, we could break it down to 15 and 12. I might just break it down and do episode 6 on Monday, right before the 5:30 game between Damon, New York, and California. We're actually going to do that. So for episode 6, originally was going to be scheduled for Black Friday. It is going to be released. I'm going to release it hopefully by 4 p.m. on. Hopefully, we'll try to get there as soon as possible. Try to have it filmed and posted by, at the worst, 4:30 or 5 o'clock on Monday, November 24th. Hello, Raymond. All right, so the 13-game schedule coming up here in just a few moments. We got Kutztown and Georgian Court. Kutztown goes into this matchup 1-0. Georgian Court is 3-0. This game being played in Lakewood, New Jersey. A couple 2 o'clock games. First one is Jefferson in Millersville and played at the Pasilla Gymnasium. Jefferson is 3-0. Millersville is 1-2. Then Seton Hill traveling to Buckhannon, West Virginia to take on West Virginia Wesleyan. Seton Hill is 3-0. West Virginia Wesleyan is 0-3. A couple 3 o'clock games. Ton of 3 o'clock games, actually. The first one is Commonwealth University of Bloomsburg at Felician University. This game being played in Rutherford, New Jersey. California at Concord. Game being played in Athens, West Virginia. Lake Erie College traveling to Clarion. Wilmington, Delaware taking on Shippensburg. SRU traveling south via I-79 to Fairmont, West Virginia, taking on Fairmont State. We have a 3:30 game which we'll talk about here in a moment with my scouting report. This is Ashland versus IUP. The game is being played in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. It was one of 2 games being played that day at the UPJ Sports Center. A couple 4 o'clock games, Roberts Wesleyan at Edinboro, and then Shepherd at West Liberty. One 5 o'clock game, Gandon at Findlay. That is going to be a huge game coming up. And then Deauville taking on Pitt Johnstown at 5:30. The 2 games for Sunday, Pitt Johnstown at Ashland. These 2 games will be moving to the KCAC in Indiana, Pennsylvania. And then the 5:30 game is Deauville versus IUPs. Now, with that being said, let's get into the scouting report. So I love doing these. These are kind of fun. These are a lot of fun to do. Just do one quick thing. All right, we're done. Okay. So the scouting report. I love doing these. These are a lot of fun. I did these last year. They're super fun to do. Just to see what's even the scouting report for these 2 teams. So here we go. So the first game, my first scouting report for the 2025-2026 season is Ashland, Ohio versus IUP. This is the 2,336 career game for IUP. IUP's all-time record going into this matchup is 1,526 and 809, 65.4% all-time winning percentage. Ashland is 2-1. They're tied for 4th in the GMAC, or the Great Mid-American Conference, Athletic Conference. Great Midwest Athletic Conference. IUP is 2-0, tied for 3rd in the PSAC West with Gannon. This is the second all-time meeting between these 2 programs. IUP won the first matchup last season, just over a year ago, in Ashland, Ohio, winning 75-72. This is a 3:30 p.m. start at the UPJ Sports Center in Johnstown. Due to conflicts at the KCAC, they ended up having to move these set of games to the UPJ Sports Center. The travel time from Ashland University to the UPJ Sports Center is about 227 miles, or roughly 365 kilometers. A little over, just under 4 hours at 3 hours and 52 minutes. Stats from Google Maps. Now let's get into my favorite part of the scouting report. These are what I call the 7 key elements. I used to call it the 7 key elements of my fundamentals of basketball. Now, it is the 7 key elements of the Honorable Judge Noah's fundamentals of basketball. So how this works is I take the 7 most important statistics, which are points per game allowed based on defense, field goal percentage, 3-point field goal percentage, free throw percentage, team rebounding, and assist over turnover ratios. And then compare the 2 teams, and whoever has the highest total gets the advantage, in my opinion. So the more categories you have, the more you're likely to win this matchup. Although that sometimes there is some outliers. But it's been pretty accurate for the most part. So for this match between IUP and Ashland, points per game. IUP going into this matchup is 8th in the PSAC at 87.5 points per game. Ashland is 7th out of 12 teams in the GMAC at 73.3 points per game. So the advantage goes to IUP, despite, even though if you go by their conference standings, IUP is actually in the middle of the PSAC in points per game. Ashland is 7th out of 12, so they're in the bottom half. Defensive points per game allowed. IUP is 2nd in the conference at 65.5 points per game allowed. Ashland is 7th at 69 points per game allowed. That's 7th in their conference. So the advantage goes to IUP. Field goal percentage. IUP is shooting just under 51% from the floor as a team, 50.7%. That's 5th in the PSAC right now. That's because a lot of these teams are still playing, they're only played 1, 2, or maybe even 3 games. So once we get later in the second half of the season, we'll get a better general understanding of where they actually are pretty much ranked for the most part. So it's kind of like fluctuated right now, so it's kind of weird. Ashland shooting 47.5% from the floor. They're tied for 3rd in the GMAC. So the advantage goes to IUP. 3-point field goal percentage. IUP is shooting 35.2% from 3-point range. Ashland shooting 29% from 3-point range. IUP is 7th in PSAC, and Ashland is 9th in the GMAC. Advantage, team above me, IUP. Free throw percentage. This was the only category Ashland actually got an advantage, actually got the point for. Free throw percentage, Ashland is shooting 71.6% from the free throw line. That's 5th in their conference. IUP is 66.7%. They're tied for 12th in the PSAC at this time. So the advantage goes to Ashland. Rebounding, another easy pick. The final two were actually IUP easily has the advantage on. Rebounding, IUP has averaged 41.5 rebounds per game. They're 6th in the PSAC. Ashland is at 10th in their conference at 34.7 rebounds. Advantage, IUP. Assist to turnover ratio. IUP is averaging 1.38 assists per turnover. That's 5th in the PSAC. Ashland is second to last at 0.88 assists per turnover, 11th in the GMAC. So the point goes to IUP. So IUP, based off the 7 key elements, they are heavily favored in this matchup against Ashland. Although then again, we've seen it go crazy before where we have a team getting 6 out of 7 key elements and then they end up losing. So it can happen. It's not a perfect system, but yeah, something that I enjoy doing. Top 3 scorers for IUP. Their top 3 scorers. We start off with the guy right behind me. Number 5, Dallas Dillard. He's averaging 23 points and 5 rebounds per game through his first 2 contests, shooting 44.4% from the floor and 35.7% from 3-point range. Second highest scorer is Kamani Marrero, averaging 16.5 points, 1 rebound per game, shooting 61.1% from the floor and 50% from 3-point range. Third highest scorer for the Crimson Hawks is Christian Moore, averaging 13.5 points, 2 rebounds per game, shooting 55% from the floor and 35.7% from 3-point range. For Ashland, if I get this loaded, perfect. Their highest scoring player and their best player overall in general is number 20, 6'7" forward and redshirt senior from Gahanna, Ohio. Played his high school ball at Lincoln. Maceo Williams. He is the reigning GMAC Athlete of the Year. He was voted as one of the 10 best power forwards for Division II basketball this season. He's averaging 19.7 points and 5.7 rebounds per game, shooting 58.8% from the floor and 28.6% from 3-point range. Second highest scorer for the Eagles is number 23, a 6'5" wing and redshirt junior from Powell, Ohio. Plays high school ball at Otigny Liberty and played college basketball at University of Toledo. Cooper Davis. Davis is averaging 14.7 points and 5.3 rebounds per game, shooting 28.6% from the floor and 27.3% from 3-point range. Key statistic to watch out for if you're IUP, do not get this guy to the free throw line. He's shooting 94.7% from the free throw line to start the season. He's hit 18 out of 19 free throws going into this matchup. And the final player to watch out for, the third highest scoring player for Ashland, is number 2, 6'3" guard and redshirt freshman from Lewis Center, Ohio. Plays high school ball at Otigny Orange. Jordan Edwards. He is averaging 10.7 points, 5.7 rebounds per game, shooting 46.7% from the floor, 0% 3-point range, going 0 out of 3 to start the season. Now, the 3 keys of the game, how I do this is I basically go off of the 3 letters that represent their college. So for this one, it's ASH, A-S-H. So we start off with A, all Hawkeyes on Maceo Williams. Like I said before, he's the reigning GMAC Player of the Year. He's one of the big names in the entire country for power forwards. So they definitely have to make sure to keep an eye on him. Although I think with guys like Ian Herring and Demir Brooks, the dynamic duo defensively, I think they can find a way to shut him down. If they can find a way to shut him down, this will be a very easy matchup for IUP. And I think their defense definitely can play very well. S, shoot the ball well. IUP, like I said, is shooting just under 51% from the floor. They were red hot in their first 2 games. Can they keep that up in their third matchup of the season? In their first of 2 games this season at Johnstown. So one, they're not even technically playing Pitt Johnstown, and then they'll be at Pitt Johnstown later in the year. H, hold the Eagles from getting to the line. So like I said, definitely keep an eye out for Cooper Davis. do not get him to the free throw line because he's pretty much automatic. So with that, let's get to the second game for the scouting report. So IUP will either be 3-0 or 2-1 going into the Sunday matchup tomorrow, which is D'Youville, New York versus IUP. At the time of this recording, before tomorrow's games, D'Youville is 0-3, tied for 7th in the East Coast Conference. IUP again is 2-0, tied for 3rd in the PSAC West with Cannon. This will be the first time all-time meeting between the Saints and the Crimson Hawks. This is a 5:30 p.m. home game at the wonderful facility known as the KCAC, which is what I call it for short, or more specifically, the Kowalczyk Convention Athletic Complex in Indiana, Pennsylvania. So this will be the first official home game of the season for IUP, because their first 2 games of the season last weekend were technically not played at the KCAC. They were played at the Memorial Fieldhouse just across from there. Travel time from D'Youville University, which is located in Buffalo, New York, to the KCAC is about 245 miles, or just under 409 kilometers. So about a 354-minute drive. So just under 4 hours. Back to the 7 key elements. Points per game. IUP easily earns this point. The points per game, they're 87.5%, 87.5 points per game. D'Youville is 75.7 points per game. That's 5th in the East Coast Conference. So the point goes to IUP. Defensive points per game allowed. This one was really surprising. So IUP easily got the point here. 65.5 points per game allowed for IUP. D'Youville is averaging under 89 points per game allowed. That's 6th out of 11 teams in their conference, in the East Coast Conference. If you put that statistic in the PSAC, they would be 3rd to last. They'd be 16th out of 18 teams. Only behind Clarion and I believe Bloomsburg. I have to take a look at that. So they'd be ahead of Clarion and Mansfield. So that's kind of a funny statistic to think about. That there must be a high-scoring conference up there in the East Coast Conference. But the point goes to IUP easily. Field goal percentage, another easy point for IUP. They're shooting almost 9% better than D'Youville. D'Youville is only shooting 41.8% from the floor. They're 7th in the East Coast Conference, so the point goes to IUP. 3-point field goal percentage, this was a pretty close one. IUP, again, 35.2% from three-point range. D'Youville shooting 31.9% from three-point range. They're 4th in the East Coast Conference, which is crazy. Taking a look at that stat, if you add let's add D'Youville to the three-point range, 31.9%. They would be 11th out of 18 teams in the PSAC. So, yeah, not good. So the point goes to IUP. Free throw percentage, this was a very close one, like under 0.5%. D'Youville shooting 67.1% from the free throw line. They're tied for 6th in the East Coast Conference. IUP is 66.7%, so the advantage goes to the Saints of D'Youville, New York. Rebounding is very close as well. D'Youville is 1st in the East Coast Conference at 42 rebounds per game. IUP is 6th at 41.5 and 6th in the PSAC, so the advantage goes to D'Youville. Assist-to-turnover ratio, IUP easily has the advantage, 1.38 assists per turnover. D'Youville is 6th in the East Coast Conference at 0.67. Advantage point goes to IUP. IUP is favored in this matchup pretty easily, earning 5 out of 7 key elements. Now, for the same 3 scores again for IUP. Those are Dallas Diller, Kamani Momorero, and Christian Moore. We already got their statistics. Moving on to D'Youville, the Saints. Their highest scoring player, points per game average, is number 5. He's a 6'3" guard and redshirt junior from Woodhaven, Michigan. Plays high school ball at Woodhaven. Elisha Warren. He is averaging 18.7 points and 4 rebounds per game, shooting 53.8% from the floor and 43.8% from three-point range. Next is number 22. He is a 6'7" guard and redshirt senior from Oxford, Alabama. Played his high school ball at Oxford. Justin Moore. No, not the country singer, but the guy from for the Uville. He's averaging 13.3 points, 5 rebounds per game, shooting 34.3% from the floor, 0% from three-point range, going 0 out of 5 so far. It was kind of funny. I think it was Teal last year where they had a guy named Rob Thomas. No, not the guy who sings Lonely No More in Someday, but a guy who played for Teal last year. The last player for the third highest scoring player for the Saints is a number 2, 6'1" guard and freshman from DeKalb, Illinois, the home of Northern Illinois University. He plays high school ball at DeKalb. Sean Reynolds. Reynolds, maybe. There we go. He's averaging 10 points and 4 rebounds per game, shooting 42.3% from the floor and 42.1% from three-point range. 3 keys of the game, DYU. D, defend the KCAC. As I said, this is the first home game of the season for the Crimson Hawks in their home facility, the Kovalchuk Convention Athletic Complex. Y, you need to watch out for 5 and 22. These two average just over half of their point, just a hair under half their points per game. Or actually, they probably make up roughly about 40% of their scoring so far this year. And U, although DUville is underwhelming, sure, but that doesn't always mean it's going to be an easy win. DUville's historically been a very bad program. IUP's been, for the last at least 20 years, been a very, very good program. They've only had, I believe, 2 losing seasons the last 19 years. This is definitely feels like a winning, very good historic winning program versus a very historic losing program. But that doesn't mean it's always going to be an easy win for IUP. So definitely have to keep an eye on this matchup for sure. With that being said, let's get to the final phase of this episode, which is my picks and predictions for the 15 games for this weekend. So Kutztown and Georgian Court. This is going to be an interesting matchup. I'm going to go with Georgian Court getting the win. Seton Hill, Ross, Virginia Wesleyan. Give me Seton Hill. This is an easy win. Wilmington, Delaware versus Shippensburg. This is going to be a close. This feels like a toss-up game. I'm going to go Wilmington, Delaware on this one. Slippery Rock versus Fairmont State. This is a really good game coming up. Probably the second best matchup of the weekend. I'm going to go Fairmont State. I think they bounce back from last weekend's loss. Jefferson versus Millersville, another good, pretty decent matchup. I'm going to go Jefferson on this one, although I feel like Millersville could win this game very easily. Bloomsburg and Felician, I'm going to go Felician. California and Concord, I actually forgot to write that. I'm going to go California. I think the Vulcans win that game very easily. Lake Erie and Clarion, I'm going to go Lake Erie. Gannon and Findlay, biggest matchup of the weekend. Both these teams are ranked. I believe Gannon was ranked 22. Findlay, Ohio is ranked 23. This is a game that could go either way. I'm going to go Gannon. I feel confident with Pace Prosser. I think he's very good. We'll have to wait and see. I think this is a matchup that can go either way. Next one, Ashland, Ohio, and IUP. Well, that one's obvious. I'm going to pick IUP. I think Ashland can give this a very close matchup, but I think IUP is the better team in my opinion. Roberts Wesleyan and Edinboro. Give me Roberts Wesleyan to win this matchup. Shepherd and West Liberty, pretty decent game. I'm going to go West Liberty. And then DUville and UPJ. I'm going to go UPJ. And then the 2 games on Sunday, tomorrow, at the KCAC in Indiana. Pitt, Johnstown, and Ashland. This is a close game. This could go either way. I'm going to go Pitt, Johnstown. And then DUville versus IUP. This is probably the easiest pick of the weekend. IUP over DUville. I think IUP will find a way to. I think IUP will cruise in this game. Although you never know. But I think IUP will find a way to win this game very easily. This would be one of IUP's biggest wins in terms of points won by this season. But anyways, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys for joining me. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Saturday afternoon. I will see you guys on Monday for Season 3, Episode 6 of the PCBC. Until then, I am your host of this wonderful series here on YouTube, the Honorable Judge Noah, saying so long and have a great rest of your weekend. And I will see you guys Monday for episode number 6.